Now, I know the self-help world is all for blaming yourself and full self-accountability. Now, what I'm here to tell you is that if you can't keep promises to yourself, if you keep falling off, it is absolutely not your fault. And I only believe that after I worked with 100+ entrepreneurs, the laziest, most unfocused entrepreneurs falling off every single day. I've literally seen them before my eyes turn into execution machines that can literally outwork whoever the hell you can name in the online space. And it's actually all using the one simplest yet most rigorous live accountability system that literally makes it impossible for you to fall off. And it makes you so damn efficient that you can get more done in one morning than you did in the entire past week prior. What I'm about to show you is why the hell it works so well. Then I'm going to tell you the exact structure of the system so you can literally steal it and install it for yourself A through Z. And then I'm going to tell you how you can get it for free, because who doesn't want free shit? First, why the hell does it work so well? Now, the thing is, every single top entrepreneur understands how important accountability is. No, you don't have to take my word for it. You could just listen to them.
To your point, even of alternative education in general, when you say, hey, you could learn the stuff on YouTube, et cetera, et cetera. The issue that we're solving for is not that it's not a knowledge gap. The issue is an accountability gap, is that people don't do stuff. There's a service that just sells accountability. They literally just like whatever your goals are, we'll just hold you accountable. Like that's it. It's all they sell. And I think you get, some touch base every week with somebody who just like, you said you were going to do this. Have you done it? What's the plan for this week? Basically, just help people prioritize and eliminate. And I think that's pretty valuable.
We know what to do, but we can't do it because we don't have anyone observing us and anyone holding us accountable.
When you have someone looking at your stats, when you have accountability calls, it's like there's no running anywhere. You know what I mean?
Accountability is important because that's how you're going to get leverage. That's how you're going to get credibility. It's also how you're going to get equity. And if you have high accountability, that makes you less replaceable.
Now, the thing is, accountability has two prerequisites, okay? Prerequisites is a fancy word for two conditions. Good accountability is professional and it's external. Now, it is a bonus if it is live, okay? Why does it have to be professional? Because it needs teeth, okay? I'm gonna draw like teeth here. I don't know, that kind of looks like, I'm not even gonna comment on that. It needs to be external because if it's you, then unlike what other people say, it's unreliable. You don't wanna rely on motivation. Motivation is fleeting. This whole flow state, it's all bullshit, okay? You need a forcing external trigger that ensures that you do the shit that you need to do no matter how you feel. Now, obviously, there's ways that you can gamify the entire process and make it so damn addictive that you fall in love with it. But again, that's later on. It has to be external and you need to do it no matter how you feel like it until you build the habit and the unbreakable discipline that you know you always needed. And as a bonus, this is a bonus here, if it's live, it is 1,000,000 times, obviously this isn't a scientific number, it's 1,000,000 times more effective. Just to give you an example, okay? And by the way, the person keeping you accountable doesn't need to be better than you. Just to give you an example, Kobe Bryant, right? Rest in peace, I guess. His coach is not better at basketball than him, right? Same thing with chess players, right? If you look at the top chess players, the coaches for the top chess players are usually not as good as them, right? Why? Because again, one of the main things that they provide is accountability, professional external accountability to ensure that you are doing the right thing every single moment in time. And you're basically making full use of every ounce of potential that you have. And actually, Dan Henry, who's made $30 million online, and I consider him to be one of my mentors. He's absolutely lovely dude. And he's very funny too. He actually puts it so beautifully. And I'll play the clip here.
You never take your own advice. I've struggled with that too. It's so much easier for me to come up with a marketing campaign for a client than it is for me. It's 10 times harder. When you're so close to something, you're too close to see where you're going wrong. You have to have somebody that stands back, even if they're not as good as you. When they stand back and they look at the whole picture, they can see what's going on. They can see what's wrong.
This is actually something called Solomon's paradox, right? Solomon's paradox essentially states that we often give better advice than we are willing to follow ourselves. Sometimes all it takes is a mirror, a wall that we can bounce ideas off of to actually ensure that we are following the advice that we would give to ourselves had we been another person. If somebody comes to you and they're like, I have 4 different businesses, what should I do? You're like, you fucking idiot. You should shut down 3 of them, focus on just one. But wait a minute, don't you have multiple businesses? Hard, right? And the reason why it's called Solomon's paradox is because at least in the biblical narrative, Solomon was this wise guy, but apparently he had a terrible life. Now, my name is Solomon, not Solomon, okay? So actually, name. So I guess you can call it Solomon's paradox as well, because I experienced this myself. The thing is, you don't follow the advice. And I don't do this sometimes. I don't follow the advice that I give to other people. Why is it? Because again, it's infinitely harder to follow your own advice than it is to give advice to other people. So sometimes all it takes is for somebody else to just have a bigger picture view of everything, 33 million foot view. If you have an expert maze solver. You put that expert in a maze, right? And they're going through the maze and, they're going through it, whatever the hell it is. But you put another dude who's not an expert at anything and you put him on a damn helicopter and he has a perspective, who's probably going to solve the maze faster? I don't know how good maze solvers are. I don't even know if that's a real profession. It's kind of a stupid example. But anyways, point being, when you have the perspective, it enables you to make decisions and give advice that is much, much more applicable to the broader situation and much more relevant to the goal that you're trying to achieve. Now, why is it important for accountability to be live? Because if I have a personal trainer that just checks in with you via text versus a personal trainer that's literally there with you live, which one's more effective? Exactly, the live personal trainer, okay? The immediacy, how quick the feedback is, whether or not it's positive or negative, doesn't really matter. It can be either or, but how quick it is very relevant to how effective your behavior change will be. I was talking to an entrepreneur and I told him, look, it's just reward and punishment. If you don't want to do something, if you want to stop doing something, punish yourself for doing it, reward yourself for not doing it. Let's say drinking, right? You punish yourself if you drink and you reward yourself if you don't drink, right? I'll go get myself a McChicken or something like that, right? If I don't drink for like 2 days or whatever the hell it is, even though that's not really quite a feat to accomplish. But anyways, he was like, we're not pigeons. Human beings aren't pigeons. You can't. He didn't actually sound like this. Lovely guy, by the way. We are animals. We have a primal side to us. All of the principles of conditioning, classical conditioning, all these psychological principles that I'm telling you guys about, they apply to us as human beings. Add friction to the shit you don't want to do, reduce friction from the shit that you do want to do, and that's it. It's as simple as that. People overcomplicate it. Oh, I don't want to, and I just, my brain and I have ADHD. No, none of this shit matters. It's just reward and punishment. Now, let's talk about the structure of the system A through Z that we personally use here at Compass, and then I'm going to tell you how you can get it for free. By the way, I'll skip to that part. We are hosting a free 6-week focus challenge for entrepreneurs where we literally track your execution live every single second, so there's no excuse, okay? Again, this is the backbone of all the accountability systems that we provide. We essentially have streaks, we have all the gamification. We basically make your environment as optimized as possible so that you can get addicted to work. We have a whole bunch of other stuff. We create a centralized hub for you where we track, measure, and improve your work output like it's a real KPI. Gamify everything, as I said before. Assign you a dedicated executive systems manager, a dedicated accountability coach that literally keeps you accountable live 24/7. We make sure that every single focus session, every single momentum-based sprint is predictable, repeatable, and accessible on demand. And we use a software to track you live. And this is exactly what I'm going to talk about here, how exactly the system works, okay? And you guys can install this yourself or you can have us give it to you for free, right? So how exactly work? Okay, I'm going to skip the extra words here. Basically, we work in hourly time blocks, okay? 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, okay? This way it becomes numerical. These hours have to be related to hits. What is a hit? A hit is a high impact revenue generating task. High impact task, okay? Simple as that. A cab, which is a block, I'm getting into terminology here. Anyways, a time block can only focus on stuff that makes you dollar signs, okay? We have a software that we use where the coach literally tracks every single second that you work. Now, obviously, we have a whole privacy thing that the coach signs, so on and so forth, and we have a whole policy in place. We can't do anything with it, and the software pauses and resumes, so we don't see anybody's credit card information. You can cut out certain parts of it, whatever it is. It's a very smart software. It doesn't take up any space on your laptop. It's essentially like Loom. If any of you guys have used Loom, it's like Loom for accountability. But basically, when you work in 1 hour time blocks, it becomes a gamified number. You can use this for streaks. You can use this for all this other stuff. Now, you don't want to only base yourself on how many hours you work. A lot of people are like, I work 16 hours a day. You know who else works 16 hours a day? A freaking child in a sweatshop in China, all right? Sorry for getting political. This is just the truth. So do you want to be that child? Is that child the ideal? No. Why? Because it's important that you do high leverage work. And this is the difference between speed and velocity, okay? If we have two cars, this car right here, beautiful car, right? It looks like the most stupid car in the world, is trying to get to this destination. It's going 100 miles per hour. It's going to take this car more than 4 times as long, if I'm actually estimating correctly, than this car, even if this car is going 50 miles per hour, but it has a clear direction. This direction, ladies and gentlemen, is strategy, planning, and leverage, okay? So you want to ensure, I don't know why I wrote planning, and leverage. If you have leverage, you don't need to put in as many hours, but there's a baseline that you need to fulfill. I'll tell you exactly what the baseline is. The baseline is usually at least 4 hours, okay? I don't know about the 4-hour work week, But I know that the 4-hour work day where you're focusing on the business, not running the business, but actually working on moving the business forward, making more revenue, that absolutely works. So 4 hours is minimum. Okay. That number is the minimum. It's usually the lowest threshold where you can actually use leverage, plan, strategize, so on and so forth. This car right here, with no wheels apparently, I don't know how it was going to get to the destination before. This car is going to, even though it's slower, even though it's working less hours than Grant Cardone or whoever the hell's flexing online, I work more than you, I can outwork anyone, is going to get to the destination in a fraction of the time as this car, even though this car is moving faster. And that's why strategy, planning, and leverage is so important. Just to give you guys the definition of leverage, leverage has 4 C's. This is how my stupid brain remembers it. Content. Okay, you make one piece of content, a video that 1 million people can watch, boom, leverage. Capital, basically you use money. I'm not too familiar with this, honestly, but you use money, get access to resources, so on and so forth, debt and all this shit, leverage, right? Then you have code, right? AI, stuff like, algorithms, automations. And then lastly, you have collaboration, which is just a fancy word for getting other people to do stuff for you, okay? Collaboration, code, capital, and content. So again, basically every single instance of this cab, of this hourly time block, a cab, by the way, is a compass action block. I just branded it because I like branding things. It's literally live, okay? So you are being rewarded or punished in real time for every single second that you work. Now, what did I say before, ladies and gentlemen? I said that this is the simplest yet most rigorous accountability system. And I think I should add a U here, right? No, is that for the European folks? Hey, I'm expanding my target addressable market, okay? I don't know if rigorous, I think it's the British spelling. Anyways, I said that this is simple and it's very rigorous. So a lot of people are afraid. They're like, oh my God, this is so I don't want to be, and I know, I understand. Nobody wants to truly be tracked live. Nobody wants accountability. And that's the unfortunate truth of it. And sometimes I kind of get very sad and depressed when I think about the fact that nobody really wants to think I'm selling, but they realize that they kind of needed to get to their goal. But anyways, that's why we gamify shit, to make it 10 times more enjoyable. But the thing is, the larger the plane, right? I'm going to try to draw a plane here. Okay, I don't even know what the hell this is. Okay, not bad, not bad. It looks like, I don't even know what it looks like. Anyways, the larger the plane, the longer a runway you need to take off, right? So this is what we do. We have a coach-assisted 7-day ramp-up sequence. I'm telling you, you do one of these a day, you will get more work done than you probably did in 6 hours. You start doing 2 of these, then 3 of these, then 4 of these, then 6 of these every single day. Imagine the focus that you'll have. We slowly ramp it up and we gamify it every step of the way, and we give you positive feedback loops that are literally illegal for 99% of the population. Because live reward is so dangerously addictive, that's literally like the source of most addictions, right? You basically snort a line of cocaine or whatever your preferred drug is, and you're rewarded immediately. The immediacy of the reward is what gets you addicted. Same thing with games. Even though you're punished, even if you're punished in a game, you lose the game, the feedback loop is so instant, it's so quick that it still gets you addicted regardless. Even if it's not reward, it's punishment. So the fact that it's immediate is what makes it so damn effective. And actually in California, they banned paying truckers in real time because they used to literally not sleep. So basically the trucking companies, they had to pay them for going to sleep, staying at the hotel, resting, and all this shit. Before, they used to just pay them by the mile or by the minute or something like that. And because they were rewarded for one activity over and over again with immediate feedback loops, live feedback loops, they used to literally get addicted, and it was a safety hazard. Okay, you can search this up. You're going to have to dig a little deeper into it because when you search it up, initially it just says, oh no, this isn't true, but it is true. So again, 4 hours just recording every single thing that you do live. This is basically the only thing that you need to have. Again, what did I say before? What does accountability have to be? Professional, external, live accountability. That's literally it. If you guys want it for free, I'm hosting a free 6-week focus challenge where we give you a dedicated ESM, an executive systems manager, fancy word for accountability coach, to keep you accountable live 24/7. Again, you get a dedicated dude that is trained just to do that. You get the licensed software included as part of this free 6-week focus challenge. You get the foolproof software stack that literally destroys distractions, and you get the coach assisted 7-day focus ramp up sequence. And as a special bonus, we are also offering weekly constraint identification calls with me, because a lot of people are like, I don't know if I'm doing the right things. So I will personally, based on the fundamentals of business that I 100% know always work, will tell you if you're doing the right thing in your business. There's going to be a link in the description below where you can see if you qualify. If you don't want it, no worries. I understand. I'll see you guys in the next one. Subscribe, like. I'm trying to get to 2 billion subscribers in the next 3 minutes. We're very close to the goal. If you guys can assist me, I would be eternally grateful. Go ahead and subscribe, like, ciao.